Hey y'all, Rob here with ATX Legal, and today I'm going to talk to you about SIM swap attacks. And if you are Googling for this video, you may already know what they are. I will go briefly into that, but if you are facing a SIM swap attack yourself, you unfortunately know all too well what it is and what you're dealing with. And then from there, we'll talk about what you can do to protect yourself and can you sue if you have been the victim of a SIM swap attack. Now, when a SIM swap attack happens, the attacker or the criminal will call the phone company and convince the phone company to switch a SIM card from you, who is the victim, to them. So now they have control of your phone. And how they do this varies. Sometimes it's with social engineering. Sometimes you've left information vulnerable on the internet, or sometimes they actually have someone on the inside of the phone company who can help them in switching that SIM card over. Now, once they have that card, they can do all kinds of nefarious things. They can change your email passwords, they can get into your bank accounts, and what they most commonly do is try to get into your crypto accounts. And they do this using two-factor authentication, which is supposedly there to help you, but what they'll do is get the crypto exchange like Coinbase or Gemini to send their code to your phone, but instead of going to your phone, it will go to theirs because they've switched out those SIMs. And the reason they choose to target crypto usually is because once the crypto is out of that account, it's gone. It's not like a bank where it'll take a few days to clear and you could maybe go in and stop those transfers. Crypto is instant and they're gonna go in and get those funds and have it, and there's nothing you can really do about it. Now, if you're a victim of a SIM swap attack, you're gonna know right away because your phone is gonna stop working and you're gonna be like, what is going on here? You might try and call the phone company and figure out what's going on. For that reason, the attackers usually will wait until either the nighttime or the weekend or maybe a holiday when the phone company is not going to have very many employees there answering the phone, or perhaps if it's overnight, you might not recognize it till the morning, and that gives them time to go in and hack into your accounts. And that's important to them because if you can go in ahead of them and change your passwords or lock your accounts, you're going to be able to block them from hacking your accounts. But when victims are the target and they notice that their phone has been shut off, it can start a race between you and the hacker to go in and change your accounts before they can access them. It's a very panicky situation. And if you've been in that situation, then you already know how anxiety-provoking it really is. For example, I've seen cases where a person noticed that the attacker had SIM swapped their account and right away called the phone company with his wife's phone. He was on the line with them, letting them know his account needed to be locked. They did lock his account and then got the account unlocked multiple times. Now, in that situation, it seemed very much like there was someone on the inside working in the phone company who was continually unlocking that account so that the hacker would have more time to get at the funds. So that's a very clear breach of duty that the phone company had to its customer to keep that account safe. We keep so much personal information on our phones, not just passwords, but email accounts, photos, all kinds of things that if a hacker got into that, then they're going to be able to wreak havoc in your life. Therefore, the phone company has that duty to not just turn your information over to an attacker or someone else who isn't you. And if they breach that duty, you can absolutely sue them. A number of cases have settled out of court. We don't know what those terms are, but they're upwards of $200,000, $300,000 worth of cryptocurrency. And the phone company decided that it was worthwhile to go ahead and pay out those settlements because they looked at the facts of those cases and said, yeah, we probably did breach our duty of care there. Now, those settlements are not disclosed. We don't know what they settled for, if it was a percentage of that cryptocurrency. It's impossible to say, but it is possible to sue, and it is worthwhile to sue if you've lost a large amount of cryptocurrency. It's more difficult, but you can also sue the custodian of the funds, and this would be Coinbase, Gemini, or another exchange where you're holding your crypto. These exchanges tend to be a little more secure. They're used to having to handle situations like this. Hackers are going at crypto all the time, and therefore they don't breach that duty as often, but it does happen, and it is one more thing to look at in these cases if you've had your crypto stolen. So these SIM swap attacks are becoming more and more common. I just heard an interview with a prosecutor who is prosecuting an attacker, and that prosecutor noted that these cases are skyrocketing. So you might be wondering, how do I protect myself from these attacks? Now, one way to protect yourself is to be very clear with your two-factor authentication. You don't want to have an email password that's stored on your phone connected to that same number where they could SIM swap and get your email password and the two-factor authentication at the same time. That's one way to protect yourself, but there's really one way that is foolproof, and that's to self-custody your crypto. This is the pill you might need to swallow if you are keeping that crypto on the exchange. You might have heard it 100 times, and it doesn't necessarily register as something you need to worry about. But the ethos of crypto really is to self-custody these funds. And so if you're holding them on the exchange and they're not in a self-custody wallet, there's always going to be that potential that a hacker could get at it through the exchange and take your funds. If you have it on a self-custody wallet, I keep mine on a ledger, but there are other options for that as well. You're going to be secure. You're going to keep your crypto safe as long as you don't give out that private key. So get them off the exchanges. That's going to protect you from hackers. It's also going to protect you in case that exchange fails, which we saw with FTX. So it's really the best policy. Just keep your crypto in that self-custody wallet, not your keys, not your coin. Subscribe to that, learn it, love it, and you're going to be better off for it. None of this is legal advice. None of this is financial advice. If you do want legal advice on your particular case, maybe you've been the victim of a SIM swap attack, I'd love to talk to you. There's no fee for that consultation. Just give us a call or visit us at atx.legal to set that up.